We are Good Red Media. We are a small business marketing agency. We help small businesses get ranked better on Google. If you own a small business, if you work for a small business, if you're ever interested in starting a small business, you might find some valuable information on this podcast. Today, we're going to be diving into accountability, how to hold yourself accountable, how to hold your employees accountable, what that kind of looks like in the different aspects of just life. And here to talk about that with me is my long-suffering co-host, Jordan. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty well, Cody. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. And I'll be real, I kind of like that intro a little bit better. I like the little maybe not monologue-y intro, but I felt a little bit like that felt like a little segment almost.
Yeah. It almost felt like you had something scripted out there.
Yeah, almost. I didn't.
And I believe it. I believe you didn't.
But maybe we should. Maybe we should. But while I am here, I've got to get some links out. I'm getting all of our things found. Why don't you dive into accountability and your whole thought process on it? Because I know this is kind of like one that I've been pushing, and I'm pushing it because we've had some accountability stuff going on recently.
Yeah.
I'm curious of your thoughts.
Accountability at its definition, like I don't have the definition, but like my definition for it is, just insurance that the work will be done. That's what I see accountability as. I remember one of the times in the bullpen back when we had our bullpen in the office. I don't remember if it was you. I want to say it was either like you or Jay. And we were kind of talking about, because like we've always had these like on again, off again accountability chats and stuff that we do in our company. And I remember talking about like someone said accountability to me is the work getting done. Like it's not like it doesn't, I don't care when you're doing it, I don't care how you're doing it, I just care that it is getting done. And ever since I heard who it was either you or Jay that said it, that has really stuck with me in like a big way. Like I'm like, yeah, no, that truly is at its core what accountability should be. I get from a managerial, like there's two ways to look at accountability, I think, from a managerial standpoint and from like the employee standpoint. And obviously they're going to be very different. Like from an employee standpoint, from my standpoint, I'm like, hey, the job is done. Who cares how I got there? But like for you, it's like, well, I have to tell my boss how it got done,
Yeah. Well, and it's so I think there is a couple different things that we touched on there. And one of the good ones to kind of touch on first is we've done accountability a lot of different ways. Functionally, on we work for a company level, we've done accountability chats, we've done check-ins, we've done stand-ups, we've done task management systems, we've done Trello, we've done keeping track of everything in Excel and Google Sheets. We've tried a lot. Hell, we've done Asana Monday. I'm trying to think of all the different things we've used to try to hold people accountable and to kind of figure out this accountability issue, mainly because it's an issue that companies run into as they grow. And I started this company when it was very small, and we've grown. I mean, we've more than doubled in size since I've started at the company. We had, I want to say, something like 20 to 30 employees when I started, and now we're sitting at 50 to 60, not including call centers and things like that.
Yeah.
But bringing that back to like that ground level of accountability, I think for me personally, it means taking ownership. It has to it's like a combo score. Your accountability level is like a combo of how often you own mistakes, how respectable you are. When something messes up, are you going to own your mistake or are you going to hide it? I always think of there's a nice little short story, maybe not a short story. It's like a little lesson that kids learn about retail workers. Like if you work in a grocery store and you're going through and you knock something over and you break a glass on the ground, are you the person who goes and finds an employee and gets it taken care of? Or are you the person who pushes it underneath and hides it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is part of your ownership. That's your accountability.
Yeah.
And so your accountability score, that's one aspect of it, is what type of person you are. If there's a mistake, are you going to own it or are you going to hide it? Following that up, consistency. There's a lot of issues with consistency, and I know I personally deal with consistency issues a lot. I'd say out of all of these, because I'm going to say ownership, consistency, and transparency. I think consistency is probably the one people struggle with almost the most.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree 100%. As an example, like I know you've had days with me where I've come to you and been like, hey man, like today was a bad day and I know you wanted this done. And I've been like, hey, I might not have this done by EOD by the end of the day, but I promise you it'll be done by the morning. Like I was like, listen, I just need you to be lenient here and let me get this job done at the pace that I need to get this job done. And that's why I've always appreciated your management, because like you are like, yeah, dude, like, yeah, get it done however you're comfortable getting it done.
Well, and that's that more than anything else. I think this is where it comes into like, hey, so this is a combo score. Your accountability is part of your taking ownership. Ownership is one of those things that I think you personally are extremely strong with, of like, hey, I know I'm dropping the ball, or hey, I know I'm like stepping up and I'm doing all of this. Like, I'm gonna own that, let you know,
Yeah.
and then you take accountability for
Yeah.
your pros and your cons, your goods and your bads, just like
Absolutely.
anyone else would. I mean, hell, if you do good shit, you deserve to be rewarded.
I've always said about myself, I am nothing if not self-aware. Like I think I've always thought that was one of my greatest strengths, is being able to look at myself and being like, this is where I'm doing good and this is where I'm doing bad,
Yeah, and I think that's really important. So to bring this back, to make it actionable for people, your accountability is very important. When you are a business owner, when you're working for a business, when you are, trying to make money, people taking ownership of their tasks, consistently being able to show up and being transparent about how they do their things are all extremely valuable and necessary aspects for a cohesive business. And the more people that are involved in that business, the more people that are involved in your projects, the more you need that accountability. So when you're working with like two people here, Jordan, I think you and I on this podcast is a good example. We hold each other accountable. That's kind of it. I'm like, hey, Jordan, I need you to step up and do this. And you're like, hey, Cody, you're being blah, 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 blah. I need you to stop. Like, we hold each other accountable, and that's us working on this project.
Yeah. And I think that kind of weighs in a little bit to that third part you said there of accountability, and that's the transparency. Being able to be like, hey, you're being like this, I need you to be like you're being like X, I need you to be like Y, or like could you try to like adjust or anything, like being able to say how you feel, I think goes a long way in transparency. And I think that's kind of, like you said, like I do pretty well at that. And that's because I'm a pretty transparent person. I tend to say what I think a lot. And I think that helps a lot.
Yeah. And I mean, there is maybe a level of transparency that can be negative, but at the end of the day, I'd rather someone be transparent about things. Oh, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not calling nothing about no one right now. But okay, so accountability. One of the things when I was writing up notes for all of this, one of the like quotes that I found that I really liked was accountability is the infrastructure for trust. So when people are accountable, when people are held accountable, and when you're holding someone accountable, when they own their mistakes, when they are transparent about what's going on, and then they take ownership of their successes and what they've done, you have a lot more trust in that person. And that trust is extremely important, especially for an agency like ours. I know I mentioned it at the very beginning of the show, but Good Rep Media, we're a small business marketing agency. Holding us accountable for our clients, like our clients are not marketing professionals. Part of us going out here and creating this live and giving all of this information is to let you know, hey, we do know what we're talking about. And if we don't know, we'll acknowledge it, because that's part of building trust. That's part of our accountability.
I mean, look at our, we've told the story a little bit about our massage client. Like when we first started with him, we didn't do a great job for him. We kind of felt like we dropped the ball, and then like there was a big disconnect there. Then we went to him and we were like, hey, we dropped the ball. We want to do better. And these are what we're like, this is our plan to do better. And I think that gained us more trust than we had starting with him. We almost ended in a better position with him because of that than we were back when the old management was working with him.
Yeah. And I will say, I love our branding. I love Good Rep Media, because it's literally good reputation media. Your reputation is really important. And transparency, consistency, and ownership, accountability, just in general, that is your reputation. So it's really
Yeah.
important that you have that, especially as a small business. And so I want to kind of segue this into talking a little bit more about us specifically. When's the last time you dropped the ball? Do you have something off the top of your mind that you're
I
like,
have anxiety, and I feel like I drop the ball every single week.
maybe that's a good thing to get into then, because you don't drop the ball very often, in my opinion.
It just feels like it, like I do, because we sit in a work from home environment, so like there's definitely, I think, in that environment there's a little bit of time where like sometimes you aren't as productive as you can be. And so like then at the end of the week I look back at all the time that like I was like, man, there's probably hours in that like I'm paid for that like I could have been more productive. And then like that starts eating at me. Or like we have the Vibe site, like we're doing a brand website for one of our internals right now, and like I keep pushing it back for other like small things. It feels like I'm pushing back for small things, and I know you're sitting here waiting for that to be done. And so like now today, like I'm feeling that crunch a little bit, and I'm like sitting here really trying to pump out as much of it as I can just to feel like I'm not dropping that ball,
Yeah, and I think so. I want to dive into this because I think this is a really good example. You're feeling that kind of pressure. What is making you feel that pressure? And
Anxiety. I just
what are
have it
you doing to
naturally.
kind of address that pressure? Because I think you're doing really well at addressing it.
Yeah. So I have this anxiety that's like, it's always like in the back. I'm really good at like stopping and breathing,
Mhm.
like ultimately I know like I'm not going to get fired if I don't have this site done by like the time you want it. You're just going to be annoyed at me. And like, I don't like that. I don't want that. But like,
Yeah, no one
I'm
wants someone to be annoyed with them.
like, you have pessimists, you have optimists. I've always considered myself a realist, like right in the middle. Like I don't look at a glass as half full, half empty. I look at it as it has 50% of water in it, like, and so like when I have these anxieties, I'm able to be like, hey, calm down. Like why do you feel you don't need to feel that way? And I can convince myself to like breathe. Other
Yeah,
people don't have that same, again, level of self-aware. I think is like what kind of brings me that.
yeah, and
And
I think in the chat, Emily makes a good point. She says that that's a little bit less about accountability, a little bit more about prioritizations. And I think yes, that's 100% correct because prioritizing different projects is hard. The accountability part of it is feeling like you're dropping the ball, feeling like you are letting someone down where you're taking ownership of this project. And I know we at our company, we end up with a lot of different moving parts. We're juggling a lot of different projects. And so we can feel like we're dropping the ball a lot, like we're juggling four different balls, and all of a sudden there's only three up in the air, and we're wondering where that fourth one went. And so when that happens, we feel like we're losing a little bit. Now, this is where I want to go into because it is accountability. And I think you're taking accountability and ownership of it because you've communicated this to me.
yeah.
You reach out to me today as well as last night about where you were at on those projects and giving me updated timelines. And I
Hmm.
think that more than anything else is showing me that you have ownership of the project
Yeah.
because you're not expecting me, you're not waiting for management, you're not waiting for someone else to bring it up to you. You're taking ownership and you're bringing up the delay or any issues or any of the anxieties with management or with whoever needs to know on the project. And I
And I
think
appreciate your outlook looking at it that way. I really do.
yeah, and I think that's the more important side of it. And I know it's really difficult to look at it that way when you have any type of anxiety, especially with the work from home. And we've definitely touched on the work from home stuff a lot
Yeah.
because being work from home can suck, flat out. Do you think that you have more anxiety surrounding work being work from home than when we were in office?
I think when I was like at my best was when like I came into the office for a day or two. you know
Okay.
like when like I got some time at home, but then like at the end of the week I would come in and like be around people a little bit. And I do think that it helps me a little bit because I have my Friday gig that I go into.
Yeah.
But like that's like a different environment, so I feel like it's a little bit different, and I almost get anxiety there because like I don't know what's going on at that place Monday through Thursday, and then I just come in on Fridays like, oh, what's going to be happening today?
Yeah, you're
um
you're like the extra almost.
yeah, yeah, absolutely that. Um, Yeah, sorry, I don't recall exactly what it was that led me to that. This is my second brain fart in two episodes.
Dude, sometimes it happens, but we were talking about just generally like dealing with anxiety and being work from home,
Yeah.
because I know for me personally, I am work from home, but I deal with a lot more calls. So I'm on calls almost all the time, and I'm also on video a lot. So like I
Mhm.
go consciously out of my way to be on video. Every single call that I'm in, I make sure that I'm kind of presentable. And I had to make a routine for myself to not end up in a rut where I'm like, I get up early so that I can, do morning routine, make myself coffee, get ready for my day. Because for a while there, I'll be real, and maybe this is peek behind the curtain. I would be asleep until 8:25, and I would wake up, roll out of bed, and go sit in my chair and get my morning stuff done
That's
while
me.
I'm
That's me
literally
this
still
morning.
But I will say, when I was doing that, dude, my anxiety was higher. It
I
really
believe it.
was.
I believe it.
And anyways, moving on from the whole anxiety thing, I think the accountability aspect of it is very much just taking ownership of the different projects.
Yeah.
Understanding that, hey, we don't have ego in the game. I think ego check is a big one. Um, and being able to be like, hey, this is a project, this is where I'm at.
Yeah. I would like to take your question about the last time I felt like my accountability maybe
Yeah.
was lacking and go around to the other way of a time where I almost surprised myself taking upon like some accountability,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
was when you were gone last week for like the 2 days and me being like just randomly, I was like, I can run these meetings if you want me to run these meetings or the lives and everything. It was like I didn't have to be like, we can still do the meeting. We didn't do the meetings, but like
Yeah.
I didn't have to even like say, hey, I'll do them if you want. Like
Yeah.
that was just
Well,
me feeling like we don't have our manager, so someone's got to kind of take that role at least for these couple days.
yeah. Well, I mean, more than anything else, I feel like you can take that as almost a, hey, if you're feeling more confident, maybe take on some more of those responsibilities. And I feel like that is one of the like, oh, we get into talking politics and climbing the corporate ladder and shiz like that. It's like, let me tell you to take on responsibilities without getting paid more so that you could get more, view times and deal
It
with
might get me
optics.
paid more though. Who knows?
Well, exactly. It's trade-offs, playing politics, and doing all of that type of thing, which I think some people got to do, but maybe less relevant for small business owners.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
Getting
hard to
into it
politic
specifically,
3 people in a small business.
yeah, I was gonna say, if you got 3 people in there, you got 3 people in there. But I do want to get into this mainly because if you're a small business owner and you're the only business owner, you're holding yourself accountable, and that's it. There's no one else there to hold you accountable. There's no one else there to be like, hey, okay, so if you miss this meeting, if you don't file this paperwork, if you don't show up for your client, oh well. And that's a really, really tough and difficult mindset to possibly fall
Mhm.
backwards into.
Yeah.
So if you were in that situation, what would you want to be doing? What would you personally do to set yourself up to hold yourself accountable? Because I know for
If
me,
I
I
was
would
a small
immediately
business
dive into like,
owner,
yeah, if you're a small business owner, how are you holding yourself accountable?
I would take every one of my employees and make them do accountability chats.
Okay. Now, not your employees, you. If you're by yourself, you got no
I
employees.
know, I know. That was just a little inside joke there.
I'll get into it because I do want to cover it. I think it's interesting for people to hear. But
I would probably write down goals would be a big thing.
hmm,
Like kind of like give myself like I would probably make a lot of checklists. I would probably do like a monthly, weekly, and daily checklist.
yeah,
Um, those would probably be my big things right off rip. If I do have any other employees, maybe like depending on like where the relationship is between your employee and that, like you can ask for feedback. You can, be like, hey, like I'm the owner, and I get that maybe you won't always get accurate feedback in a position of power,
yeah,
but at the very least, like if you create an environment where you allow your employees to be like, hey, like we can do better here or here, that may help you become more accountable in making that work.
yeah,
Hearing from your employees, I think would go a long way. And I think that's a big reason why Joe does it. Like Joe lets us talk to him like he's our buddy, and
yeah,
we can tell him, hey, this isn't working, this is working. And I think that helps him stay a little accountable.
yeah. And I mean, holding Joe accountable, being able to hold people up there. I say up there, but holding management and all of that accountable, I think is really important. And I think more so transparency in management is super important. I know for me personally, like maybe diving into good rep and how good rep accountability has kind of evolved from Xanadu and the previous company and stuff like that, because we've used, like I said, accountability chats, daily check-ins. But what I've found works best for good rep and what I've had feedback for is doing a daily stand up. We'll do a daily stand up where everyone kind of goes over what they're doing. And then we have like a write up of, hey, this is what's going on. Now, as the team grows and as we get more and more projects, we get more involved, I'm looking at test management softwares and getting much more like ticketing systems in place. And I think that's the next step for us. But I will say, going from like no daily meetings, no anything, to having a daily meeting was like probably the biggest step up in improvement that
and I think that relieved part of that work from home, like separation mindset.
Yeah, because if you're not seeing anyone ever, you have no consistency. I know when we were first work from home in COVID, what did I do? It was like 2 or 3 days in a row where I didn't have a single phone call with anyone and I didn't interact with anyone except through messages.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, mind you, everyone had COVID, so it was awful. But I remember typing back and forth and no one wanted to be on messages, and it was just everyone was alone and awful.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrible.
Yep.
But I think that just goes into the evolution from Xanadu, where we were kind of all over the place. There was a lot less structure, into good rep, where we have a lot better structure. And I think you need structure for accountability. If you don't know who you're being held, like who's holding you accountable, who to be accountable to, and what to be accountable for, there's not really anything that you can do,
Yeah. Yeah,
if there's no clear guideline or project.
Exactly. Like if you don't know what you're being like held accountable to, like how are you even like how do you even know what you're supposed to be working on?
And so when you're talking about a team, and maybe this is a little bit better for the small businesses among us, you want to have clear roles. If you're talking about being an agency like Good Rep, we have pretty clear defined roles. Even if there is crossover and overlap, it's much more of a, hey, this is your exact role. And if you have interest in doing other things, do them. Step in, learn them. But that's also not the expectation. The expectation is that you kind of find your lane and figure out what you're doing. But for example, we hired a media coordinator recently. Their role is to come in, help coordinate all of our written content, help with templates and SOPs. Now, the person that we hired also has a little bit of interest in podcasting. And so I'm like, hey, if you want to help out with the podcast and you want to step up and do that, you can do that. We'll take some time. We'll see later down the line.
Would you be open to being our producer? Like the person?
Well, that's where I'm at. Is I'm like, hey, if we can get someone to maybe moderate, someone to help with some of the stuff, I'm here for it. It's not something that we're hiring for. Like, we're not going to hire someone to help monitor our podcast. It's just not something that we're going to do.
But like, if we have someone internal who's like open to the thought of learning about it and like diving into it, that's a good opportunity to bring them in.
And those are the opportunities for growth, the opportunities for advancement, things like that.
If we pay anyone extra to moderate our things, and we didn't get paid extra to be on the live.
Hey man, you volunteered.
We're paid to be here. We're paid to be here. We're not paid more to be here.
We are on the clock. It happens. But along that same way, so you want to have those clearly defined roles, and then you want to have a system that they're being slotted into. When you hire a brand new employee, especially if you're like a single owner business and you hire your first employee, it's going to go bad. You're not going to be able to do it well, because providing accountability when you've never had someone to like hold accountable, especially when they're reporting to you, is very difficult. Yeah. Like, I'll be real, man. I'm actually curious, because you saw me transition into management.
Right.
Did you see growing pains? Was it
like a... Oh yeah. Like I think at the very beginning, you were almost hesitant to ask us to do things.
Oh, I 100% was. Yeah. I had no idea how to be a manager.
Yeah. Yeah. And like now it seems like, you have no problem being like, hey, we need you to get this. We need you to get that.
But it's
I low key, I know I won't say any names, but like we had like someone troublesome kind of on the team a little bit. And I think that was like your biggest moment of growth, being like moving from like, hey, I'm trying to be understanding to being like, yo, you need to get your shit together. Like I think that was like when you made that biggest step as a manager.
yeah. And I mean, I'll be real, that felt like an event almost. And there are going to be events, there are going to be things like that that cause a bit of growth and a bit of like mindset shift, because it is definitely a mindset shift of like, hey, I need to hold these people accountable. I need to be able to one, provide an environment where they can be accountable and that accountability feels valued and worthwhile. I want to say, as we talked about this a little bit on one of our other pods, but we've had a lot of projects that we cared about and they've just kind of died.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to sit there and care and want to be held accountable for a project that's not doing anything or isn't going anywhere or isn't going to be used, as opposed to caring and putting in effort and energy for a project that's going somewhere.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I want to be held accountable on how well Good Rep is doing and on our successes, because I'm putting in the energy and effort and I can care about it. It's awesome. And I really
I'm sorry, can you hear my Discord notifications going off every single time? They're probably going off for you too.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, I don't hear yours. I don't hear yours, but like I'm like sitting here like I gotta mute my Discord notifications, but I can't be too obvious about being so distracted. But I'm seeing the ring come up around my like thing saying I'm talking every time I get a Discord notification.
That's so funny. I will say, so we call this lunch with the boys, and we're not eating lunch. Anytime, we've never been eating lunch. We need to do an actual mukbang.
Nobody wants to watch people eat. Though
it's a whole thing. Mukbangs are a whole like thing of content.
Do you watch people actually actively eating, or do you watch people talk about the food?
No, people eating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go Google mukbang. MUKBANG.
Sounds really unappealing to me, but I'll check it out. I will check it out. Not right now, but
yeah. I was gonna say, we don't need to go watch some mukbang videos.
Yeah, everybody sit for a couple minutes here while I go watch some mukbang videos.
But it is one of those like it's just a type of content that some people enjoy watching. It's not my favorite type of thing. It's not something that I've ever really watched. I'm not a big foodie, but we do need to do coffee taste test.
A JoJo review. I know we've talked about that. That ought to be fun.
I am super excited to get that done. I actually got all that coffee in this past week. So
are you gonna add cream to it, or are you gonna test them all black?
Well, and so my thing is I want to try like K-cups, and we're gonna try them, and then I want to open a couple of the K-cups and try and do some pour over.
You're gonna do pour over with your cake?
Yeah, I'm gonna open up the K-cup and do a pour over for it.
I'm gonna open up a K-cup and I'm gonna do a cold brew with the.
Well, we gotta test it out
inside the K-cup.
That's the thing, and I'm here for it because that's an interesting video of like, hey, so Jojo Java sent us these K-cups for us to test out. We're gonna do pour over and French roast, and we're gonna do a whole bunch of weird coffees with these K-cups.
Jojo moved to bagged coffee at one point, didn't it?
I think we do want to do some bagged coffee. I think that's something that we are moving towards, and we'll see if that actually comes around. But not 100%. I don't think we ever actually got them working.
Oh, I'm dying. I might die on the podcast.
Oh, well, don't die on the podcast. But anyway, to get back into it, the main thing that I was getting into is the evolution of Good Rep is we've started to have a lot more secure roles, being clear in what your role is, what you're doing, and what your expectations are so that people can take and be held accountable for that exact role. Being able to have check-ins so people are being held accountable, but also just being able to talk about the roles, giving people the opportunity. And I do think that this is one of my maybe not better skill sets, but like one of the skills that I've been working on a lot is hey, what are you working on? What are your blockers? Like, what do you need? What can we do? And I think that's like without giving it too much open-endedness, because decision fatigue is real. And like, hey, what are you working on right now is real broad, and there's like 18 different projects, but like, what's blocking you? What do you need assist with right now? I have 30 minutes to help out. And that's really specific.
Yeah, I think that's big. Like being asked like, hey, what can I do to help? like is so relieving in any work environment, you know? Like sometimes though, like I'll feel bad, like sometimes like I feel like I like push things off to people whenever they ask to help, you know? And like sometimes that feels like not great.
Yeah.
Or like when this last week I had like Eric who's been on the pod, you know, like we had some of his websites come up in question, and then I had to be like, nope, that ain't me. Go to Eric. And like it almost feels like I wish I could have taken some accountability. And then I kind of did. I went to Eric and I was like, hey, like, what can we like, you know, what's going on with this? Can we do things with that? But like it like I feel bad whenever I'm like, nope, that ain't me. Go somewhere else, you know?
Yeah. Well, and it's the system of work. It's being able to actually recognize, hey, that's not me. This is who it is. Ownership. You take ownership of the question and you
Mhm.
answer it, provide context, and give them the next step. Or you tell them what you're going to do with that next step. It's a clear communication style where you're like, hey, you never hit them back with a that's not me.
Yeah.
That's not a
Well,
proper
like,
response.
well,
That is not
like,
accountability.
like, I mean, I will say verbatim, that's not me. But then, like, but here's
Yeah,
what you need to do to like get to where you need to go.
exactly.
Like because like if it's not you, you can't make it you. You know,
Yeah,
like ultimately, just because like I want to be able to be like, yeah, let me help you with that, doesn't mean I can help you with that.
mhm.
So
And
yeah, there comes that level of like when you can't do the job, you still have to figure out how you can help them get the job done as best you can.
yeah. And with that in mind, one of the things that I'm super happy about, we've been getting some SOPs, standard operating procedures, written down for the past month or so, and some templates and stuff, and that provides like a baseline. So when you have a job description, you look at that and you're like, I'm supposed to do that. So being able to have a written down job description, I think, is really important for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of people get written down, at least not consistent, especially in marketing.
Yeah.
But when you have standard operating procedures, when you have templates to work from, and you can be like, hey, we were talking about bringing on a new web developer to handle some of our stuff, and I can bring them on and hand them a document and be like, hey, your expectation is that you can set a website up to this specification exactly like this. Go do it. And
Yeah.
then they have a document to work from, and they know I'm going to be held to this standard. This is what I need to do. And if they don't know how to accomplish it all, the SOP tells them to come ask me, and it's
Yeah.
right there spelled out for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And like it's awesome because like you mentioned like bringing on like someone new, a new developer, but it's like he's not a new developer we're talking about in
Mhm.
this circumstance. You know, there's like kicking around bringing on someone who used to do development work for us and bringing them back, but our methods have changed so much since then that like his level of accountability is going to be okay, can I forget what I had done before and take the steps to learn their new processes?
Yeah, and it'll be an interesting transition.
I mean,
But
should it even
regardless,
happen?
I do think the main things to take away from this chat are accountability is really important. It involves a lot of different factors. If you're a business owner, find a system and way to hold yourself accountable. You need to hold yourself accountable, whether that be maintaining lists, setting alarms, maintaining a calendar. For me, those are the systems that work. I write down lists. I make an effort to keep myself organized, and it can get overwhelming. So find a list or a system that works for you. Sticky notes might be what work for you. They don't work for me because I will have 100 of them.
Exactly.
Um, yeah.
Exactly. I just yesterday I cleared everything off of my massive whiteboard here next to it
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
that I can start from scratch and like really list out like my prios, like what I got I'm working on. It hurt because I erased all of my Minecraft coordinates.
Oh, the pain.
The
You got that
pain. I
screenshot
gotta
saved, bro.
find
I know.
all of those places again. No, I didn't. I didn't save any of them. I know that's not true. I got my home location written right there, but I can get that anytime. That's where my bed is.
Fair. Jeez. But
Uh,
yeah. With that said, I do think that we're going to cut this one relatively short, mainly because for anyone and everyone listening, we're going to be live again at 2 p.m. in approximately an hour and a half with Joey Matterhorn himself on the Joey Matterhorn channel. We're going to be talking
JM?
about credit and credit repair. how credit works for small business. Are you trying to do a JM?
I was trying to do a JM there, but like
I saw it and I was like, wait, respect. I can kind of see it. But come join us. We're gonna be talking about credit and some credit repair. One of the things that has to do with accountability. Fixing your credit, hold yourself accountable. Pay your credit card off. Don't overspend.
Knowing your credit score and your credit information is a big time life accountability thing. Like that is life accountability. One thing that I have not been accountable for.
Well, and it's one thing that you're acknowledging and you're taking ownership of. And that's the important.
Exactly. We're
everything
there.
Starts with a step.
That's half the battle. Not the half that matters, but half the battle.
Well, so I'm gonna be real with you, and maybe here's peek behind the curtain philosophy with Cody. You're gonna do it and you're gonna mess up, and it's fine. Go continue to do it. Your consistency is more important. Take ownership, take accountability, be transparent about your issues, but go do the thing. Just go do it.
Yeah.
Always do the thing.
Always. And get the ball rolling. It becomes a lot easier once it is.
Yeah, pretty much. And like for me personally, when I'm starting a new habit or when I'm looking at doing something, I've got the special brand of tism. I'm on that spectrum where I'm like, I need to game plan for a little while before I do something. So I thought about quitting fast food for like a month before I actually quit fast food. I thought about quitting nicotine for months before I quit nicotine. And when I quit nicotine, I gave myself a graduated program where I was like, I'm going to quit my vape, but I'm going to have a 0% nicotine vape that I carry with me. And I'm going to carry that with me for 2 months. And then after 2 months, I'm going to I set timelines for myself, man. And it worked.
I'm bad at letting myself plan that far down the line. However, like I am someone whenever I do have these goals or anything that I set for myself or like something that I'm trying to give myself some accountability for, I always have to like start it at like some marker, like the first of the month. Like, I planned this month I was going to get back on my diet, but I'll admit I did really bad at it. So like now I'm changing things up. I'm setting like an actual weight goal like I had the first time. I'm like setting up like when I want to like do my weigh-ins and everything. And then at the start of this next month, I am going to do it again.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like, yeah, it's not going to be fun, I'm sure, but it's also maintaining like that accountability, that ownership, and recognizing, okay, so I fell off. I wasn't able to do it, whatever it might be. And even if it's not like a whatever the situation is, you want to step up and do it.
Yeah, I told myself I would take a month off and then I would be back on in the next month. And I knew the next month would be very, very difficult. And it was too difficult, and I didn't prepare myself enough. So like now I know that it's going to be tough. So now I'm going back into it. It's a little harder because like last time it was like I had my brother's wedding that I was like, I need this weight gone by then. Now it's like I don't have something in front of me where it's like I need it gone by then. My brother's flying me out to Boston. I don't have a date yet for it, but a part of me is like, I at least need to get back to where I was for the wedding by the time he sees me again.
See, and you want to end up in a situation where you don't need that external validation or system in order to feel that motivation, because that sets up a system in the future where
like if you're by yourself and you don't have that external, you won't be able to find it.
But I will say setting yourself rewards and goals, for me, when I was just getting started in streaming and creating video content for myself personally outside of work, I set a goal after like, I'm going to upload a video a day for a month. And if I can do that, I'll buy myself a new computer. So like set yourself little goals like that, even if it's not buying yourself a new computer, because obviously that's not sustainable. We can't do that every month. But
that's it. That's the one.
That's the one. But setting something up for yourself that is a reward for you that you wouldn't normally do, even if it is something like small. Because
even if it's like buy myself a video game or something.
Yeah, buy yourself a video game that you're not going to feel guilty for. Buy yourself anything. For me, I'm over here like we just had some good rep news come through for the team. I'm over here like, hell yeah, this week I'm going to buy a Rift Bound box. I'm going to open myself some trading cards.
And you're getting Popeyes. I remember you saying you're getting your.
I am. Well, I didn't realize I had that live stream at 2, so I'm not going to be able to do that for lunch today. Well,
hey, this is it.
Yeah.
DoorDash. This is the treating yourself. You get to DoorDash some Popeyes.
Oh, you know it. Actually, that you're getting me there. But hey, so
Just one
we're
time
gonna
to treat yourself.
fair.
They
Dude, it's
messed
hard
up.
for me.
Hey, last time I DoorDash Popeyes, though, they messed it up and they only refunded $2 of the order that I felt like was ruined. So
I'll be real. I can't. I look at DoorDash and like the upcharges, and it hurts my soul.
it hurts so bad.
It really does. And
Yeah. Like it has to be like a day where I'm like, I just can't leave the house today. Like it's just one of those days, you know?
yeah. Well, dude, if I were in your position, I'd be walking over to Meyer for those little chickens all the time.
Oh, like the rotisserie chickens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have one of those for every single meal, and it would be awful. I'd go get them to make tacos out of them. Man.
Yeah. And like that's like my mom will like go get them and she'll shred it all up, put it in a bag, and just like freeze the shredded chicken.
Yeah, it's so good, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna be getting out of here early. Remember, we are Good Rep Media. My name's Cody. I was joined by Jordan today, and I'm joined by Jordan every single week. But Good Rep Media, we're a small business marketing agency. If you own a small business, if you work for a small business, or if you are interested in starting a small business, come and chat with us. I would love to chat about your idea. I've worked with small businesses for a couple of years now, have some good success. As Good Rep Media, we've been around for quite a few years. We've had a couple of clients. We've had some good success. Definitely something that we can help you out with.
Yeah. And to follow that up as well, if you are a small business owner or looking to be one and you are still trying to figure out credit, we mentioned later on today at 2 on the Joey Matterhorn YouTube channel. You can hop on, you'll check out Cody and I, as well as Joey Matterhorn, the man himself, there talking about credit and his new project that he's got going on with the Credit Influencer. I think it'll be a good time, and there'll be a lot of valuable information for anybody looking to start up a business and start a line of credit for it. Or even if you're just a normal person with a line of credit and you don't know anything like me, tune in. You might learn something.
I was going to say it's always worth getting some more information. Credit's kind of crazy. But hey, thanks so much for joining us. Peace out from the Good Rep Boys, and we will see you next week at noon on Tuesday. We'll also see you in approximately an hour and 19 minutes. Talk to you then. Bye, guys.